New Year and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are a new subscriber and you're just joining me, my name is Nicola and my channel is The Unrefined, and most of the things that you'll find on here are acne related, health related, fitness related and food related. I have just enrolled to finish my nutrition degree because I started it about 9 years ago, and this year I'm going to be really focusing on nutrition and really educating people about the health food industry, because over the past year I did create a granola company, and basically I found out a lot of things about the health food industry which didn't really sit well with me, and I really wanted to educate consumers more and provide knowledge surrounding food and nutrition and what you actually need to be healthy, because a lot of people think that the only way they can eat healthy is by purchasing really expensive food, but this is just not the case. And I think that there is a lot of misconception surrounding health food. So in this vlog today, I wanted to firstly motivate you for 2019 by creating some organizational habits, but I also wanted to share some of my tips for eating healthy on a budget while reducing food waste. So one of the biggest things I noticed in 2018 was the fact that I was throwing out so much of the produce that I was purchasing. So I was going to the supermarket every second day, I was going to the markets and purchasing all of this food, and by the end of the week I was actually throwing out a lot of fruit and vegetable. And although I saw myself doing it over and over again, there wasn't actually any point where I stopped and said, okay Nicola, you're probably gonna do this again this week, stop over purchasing food. You know, looking through my accounts, I did spend a lot of money on food last year. It's a good thing to eat healthy food and buy healthy food, but if you're not using it, then it is a bad thing, because it's obviously food waste and that can impact the environment significantly. So the statistic in Brisbane is that we actually throw out more than 78,000 tons of waste per year, which is the equivalent of 1 in 5 bags of groceries. So as you can imagine, that is a lot of food, and that's the average statistic. So we can all try to reduce our food waste in some way. So basically I wanted to share with you some of my tips in this video and also talk to you about organization, because I think when you actually are organized and when you sort of declutter your pantry, and that's one of my first steps, you will find that you will be more aware of what sort of food you already have in the pantry and what you don't need to buy from the supermarket, but you'll also be more aware of how to conserve your food so that it lasts longer. So I'm going to get into my top tips for reducing food waste. I am going to mention a 6-week challenge at the end of this video, which any of you can participate in, and it's actually run by my local council, Brisbane City Council. So if you are in the Brisbane area, then definitely get on board, because it can really help the environment and it will also help you save some money. So I'm gonna get straight into my first tip. Before I go on, guys, if you follow me on Instagram, you would know that I recently got a new puppy. I will show you the puppy. Napoleon! Hey! Napoleon! What are you up to, sweetie? So every time I have gone to record this video, Napoleon has started chewing a bone. So if you hear random bone noises in the background, please excuse my dog. So tip number 1 is to record your food waste. I know this sounds like a laborious task, but honestly, it made me super aware of what I was throwing out, and it's always lodged in the back of my mind when I go to the supermarket. So I know, okay, Nicola, you usually throw out broccoli every week. Stop buying 5 things of broccoli. This is the food waste diary, and I will provide a link just below in the notes section of this vlog where you can download this, print it out, just pop it on your fridge, and literally just write down every time you throw out food at the end of the week. It is necessary, and it will make you aware about your consumption, because that's the first step in reducing food waste. So this is step number 1. So step number 2 is to clear out your pantry, declutter, and implement an effective storage solution. So one thing that I found when I was clearing out my cupboard and my pantry is that there were so many products in the pantry which I didn't know I had or I'd forgotten about, and they were all still in their expiry date or best before date, and so I could use all of them, and it saved me from going to the supermarket and purchasing more of that product when I already had it. Obviously there is a downside to clearing out your pantry, because you do honestly see how much food that you throw away, but hopefully the whole purpose of clearing out the pantry, which is to create better storage solutions, will enable you to have those foods for a longer period of time, and also to know that you actually have them so that you use them and you don't go and purchase more of that product. So I actually created a whole blog post on how I set up my pantry for the new year and how I optimize my storage. So if you want to know more about how to organize your pantry and do this all on a budget, then definitely check out the blog post that I've linked in the notes section of this vlog, because it will really help you. I basically just went to Kmart, got a bunch of glass jars and wrote on them with white chalk, and it was really effective, and all of my food has been displayed so I know where everything is, and it's just really handy when you are implementing this process and trying to reduce food waste. So tip number 3 is to freeze where possible. So what I found when I was doing my food waste diary was I was throwing out a lot of fruit and vegetables. So what I do now is when I purchase, say, a bunch of bananas, I will freeze pretty much 80% of the bananas and leave a couple in the fridge. I will also purchase the frozen blueberries from the supermarket when they go on sale, and I find that they last a long time and they don't go to waste. It actually makes the smoothie way better anyway because you use less ice. So a smoothie that I'm loving right now is this blueberry and hemp smoothie. So I use blueberries, frozen blueberries, hemp seeds or hemp protein, flax meal, which is really great for gut health, flax seeds. I also sometimes use linseed meal, which is another great one for the gut, and I use almond milk, which is a long life milk. So my next tip is to store your vegetables in containers and reduce your consumption of plastic bags. So obviously Brisbane in itself and Australia are trying to cut down on plastic bags anyway, and most supermarkets have stopped providing free plastic bags, so you now have to pay for them. But what I like to do is have green bags handy in the back of my car, and I also have this little bag which folds into a little bag, and then you can store it in your handbag, and I find that I never forget a bag that way, and it can hold a lot of groceries. So that is my tip for reducing plastic consumption. But when you go to the supermarket and you bring your food home, a lot of people, because they don't have the plastic bags, they just pop the vegetables straight into that crisper section or the drawer that you may have to store your vegetables. I find that my vegetables actually don't last long in that compartment. So what I like to do is store my vegetables in a big plastic airtight container, and I find that this ensures that they last longer. So my next tip is to make meals out of your leftovers. So you can obviously do this with leftover dinner, but if you don't have leftover dinner and you've got a massive bag of leftover vegetables or garlic or onion or whatever you have in the fridge which you know isn't going to last as long as, you know, your long life food, then I suggest making a big casserole. Now I like to make a vegetable casserole or a chicken casserole every week, and I do this because not only is it good for dog food, but I also enjoy it. So yes, I eat dog food, but basically I just cut up any vegetable or any leftover vegetable that I have in the fridge, and I pop it all into a big crock pot or a saucepan. I add some chicken stock or vegetable stock, and I let it simmer in the saucepan for about 30 to 45 minutes. I then put it into containers and I store it in the freezer, and I use it for either dog food or my lunches during the week. And it is a great way to up your vegetable consumption, but it's also a great way to reduce your food waste and eat healthy on a budget. So that is one of my biggest tips, and I've been adopting this since October last year, and I never get sick of it because I have a different diverse range of vegetables every week. It's sort of, the recipe never gets old because I'm constantly chopping and changing it. So that's a really good idea as well. And also remember, if you do have meat which you think that you're not going to be using by the end of the week, like you have, you know, a last minute event with friends or a last minute dinner, then make sure you pop all of that food in the freezer. Then you can eat it the next week or the week after that. So my final tip for reducing food waste is to adopt some sort of food service delivery. So I personally order HelloFresh every week, and the thing that I like about this is you can order the number of meals you want. You can order 3 meals for 2 people, and basically you are delivered all of the meals that you want to eat, and you can choose all of the meals from recipe cards on the website, and basically you're only given the exact portion of every ingredient that you'll need. For example, you'll be given 1 onion, you'll be given the exact meat requirement of the recipe, the exact stock requirement, the exact spice requirement, and so at the end of the meal there is absolutely no leftovers unless you aren't a big eater and you have leftover lunch. Some meals they do provide extra, and so you can actually eat your leftover dinner for lunch the next day. I'm quite a big eater in the evening, so I never really have a lot of leftovers, but I personally like that because my fridge is completely decluttered. All I have is the paper bags which have the produce in it, and you know, every day I use all of the ingredients. So it definitely helps to reduce your food waste. There are so many meal delivery services out there at the moment, and there are so many great deals. So definitely check out what your local delivery service is and what sort of recipes you like from each service. And I would definitely highly recommend for the new year, starting fresh and ordering meals like that, even if it's just for 2 to 3 days a week, because you'll definitely see an improvement in your health and your organization, but also a reduction in food waste. So guys, those are my tips for reducing food waste and eating healthy on a budget. At the beginning of this video, I did mention that there is a 6-week food challenge that you can actually participate in, which is run by the Brisbane City Council. I've left all of the details in the section below. I've already done the challenge because I literally implemented all of the steps on the Brisbane City Council website, but I did it in my own time before 2019. But I can honestly say I have spent way less money on food, and I've also become more, I guess, conscious of what I'm buying. And also I've saved a lot of food by, you know, making those meals every week out of my leftovers. So definitely try to adopt some of these tips as the new year rolls in, because I think that it will definitely save you some money, and it will also encourage you to eat healthy on a budget. So if you have any more questions, or you have any tips that you want to share with me or my followers, then please pop them in the comment section below. I really hope you like this video. Please give me a thumbs up if you like it, and please subscribe to my channel because it really supports all of these videos. I will see you in my next vlog.